Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're going to be finding a percent of a number today. And so let's say you go to a store like Kohl's and you want to buy these new awesome jeans over here that you see on the right side of my screen. Well, these jeans are $60, but luckily Kohl's typically has the deals, right? And so here, if they are originally $60, what is 20% of $60? All right, because sometimes you might see like 20% off, and the original item is $60. So how much are you saving? That's what we're going to be figuring out today. All right. And I know this might seem complicated, and you might be like, oh, I don't need to do that because the store clerk will do that for me. Well, it's nice to make sure you know how much money you're going to be spending when you get to the register, and if you bring cash or a gift card, to make sure that you have enough to cover the cost of those jeans. So 20% off, $60. How much are you saving? So we're going to have to figure out what 20% of 60 is. Well, we know that we can write this percentage in two forms. We can write it as a decimal, and we can write it as a fraction as well. If we were to write it as a fraction, we could write it as 20 over 100. And as a decimal, well, we could simply just move that decimal place over two spots, boom, boom, and now we have 0.20 to represent it in decimal form. Well, we're going to use decimal form today. In fact, that's the only form we're going to be using. And so I'm going to take my decimal form of 0.20, and I'm simply just going to multiply it by 60. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead, grab my calculator here, and you can do this one with me here. We're going to do 0.2 or 0.20 multiplied by 60. That gives us 12. So we know that we'd be saving $12 on this purchase. So what is 60% or 20% of 60? $12. Let's do the same thing here. So we need to take 4% and turn it into a decimal. So we're going to take our decimal point, which always starts at the end of the number, move it 2 spots. And so here we have 0.04. Notice it's not just 0.4, okay? We had to move it 2 spots, so we had to throw in that 0 in front of the 4. So it's 0.04, and we're going to multiply it by, in this case, 25. So I'm going to grab my calculator here, which you guys can't see. And real quick, you guys do have permission to use your calculators, all right? 0.04 times 25 equals 1. So in this case, it'd be 1. Now, as we move on to other word problems, for example, like 7 here, it says your class has 28 students. If 25% of them play soccer, how many students play soccer? Well, again, all we're going to do is just take our percentage and multiply it by the number of students. So here we're going to take 25%, convert it to its decimal form of 0.25 by moving that decimal place over 2 spots, and then multiply it by 28. See, 0.25 times 28, well, it's going to be 1/4 of 28, which is 7 students. So this may seem really, really easy to you. All we're doing is taking that percentage, moving that decimal place over 2 spots, and then multiplying it by that number, and that gives us our answer. All right. We're only going to actually be doing the decimal versions today, all right, because I don't think it's very common to multiply by a fraction to figure out your number that you're saving, or a percent of a number rather, but it is very, very common to take your phone and type in the calculator 0.22 times 80, for example. All right, that's going to happen a lot more in life. So let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.